Hello, what is up, every pony? It is me, ElusiveOwl here, and welcome back to another Mellow Pony X Ace Attorney Elements of Justice. This is case 2, once again. We're back in the second case, and this is episode 8 of the case. And what's interesting about this one, because yes, we're on the 8th episode, but after that there is a episode 2, but an 8.5 as well. There's an 8.5 episode, so that's a little bonus episode for this one. So yeah, I might have to do that through the following video or videos. Now this is what I'm going to talk about here. Time length wise. Right. You know how these videos are long and they take up as many gigabytes on your storage and whatnot. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch the first hour of Elements of Justice for this episode. I'm going to stop it there, edit that one, come back into the next hour, edit that as well, put the next one on for 8.5 and get those edited out. So you're going to be seeing 2 videos in this one, but this is going to be part 1 as you are watching now. Part 2 is going to be coming later. So yeah, just thought that I'd throw it out there because this video is going to be long and I don't want to take as much storage on my phone, so that it would save me as much hassle through my time. Just get the first hour done, edit that, and then I can get that together and then delete the unedited ones, throw that away, gain more storage, and then do the next hour and then do the same thing. You know. So yeah. So back with this case. So yeah, in the last episode we got back into the Sweetie Belle case for the murder of Royal Order. Or most of it didn't really intend mostly towards Sweetie Belle, really, because we know who the killer is. Really, the killer is Sugar Stamp. Although Sweetie Belle did trip Royal Order in the Princess Luna statue, causing head trauma and the blood of the statue. We found out that the prints on the envelope wasn't on. There was no blood on the envelope. I think there was no blood on the envelope, but there was blood on the weapon itself. So the envelope will have been swapped out, and this is where we turn to Private Eye, because Private Eye has dug himself in this one. In a thrilling turn of events from that last episode, Private Eye has dug himself on that courtroom himself. He was the one who wanted to not shift. He didn't want to shift the murder onto Sugar Stamp, I think. I'm trying to remember how the method went. But he did fiddle about with the case itself regarding the I think it was the envelope. So yeah, he's dug himself into that scrap heap, big time, Private Eye. So he's in trouble. And yeah. Oh, and we're gonna hear from Sweetie Belle in this episode because Athena, in an absolute huge statement that she made, she was gonna turn herself down as as a defender for Sweetie Belle. But Sweetie Belle then confessed that she's ready to talk, and yeah, that's what we're gonna get in this episode. So, yeah, it was a very, very big statement for what Athena was doing, but I fully respect the decision that she was trying to do. She was trying to push Sweetie Belle to talk because, in this case, she has not given out. She hasn't given much clarity. She's not been given much clarity at all throughout this case. I mean, yes, Phoenix did break her from his Magnetarma to break her chains and whatnot, but that was from Phoenix. Phoenix hasn't really done much with Sweetie Belle's on her case, because this is her case. This is her case, really. So what Fina has done was the right, responsible thing to do, and yeah, we're gonna get statements out of her in this episode itself. So I cannot wait for what's to come. But yeah, like I said, going to be doing part 1, so the first hour of this, and then part 2 is going to be the next hour, and we get to case 2 and case 2 episode 8.5 as well. So yeah, we'll be doing those in 2 separate videos. But as of now, let's watch the first hour of Elements of Justice: A Winding Route, episode 8 of case 2. So let's begin this episode in 3, 2, 1, Lego. Previously on Elements of Justice.
The source of the anonymous tip and the location of the remaining suit of armor, the one belonging to the victim that died at the statue. Sonata should be out investigating those things right now.
Miss Sweetie has decided to exercise her right to remain silent.
You testified that you decided to move the body after you killed Royal Order, correct?
Yes, that's correct. The letter opener was not used to kill Royal Order. It's just a fabricated piece of evidence used to support Sugar Stamp's story. Her confession is a complete and utter fabrication in and of itself.
Yeah.
One pony in particular would have had access to the scene. And
Private
by
eye.
having access, they would have had the chance to bring the helmet there to plant it, all in order to support Sugar Stamp's testimony.
Yeah.
Private eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Private Eye must have known of Sugar's guilt, but aside from her confession, he did not have the right amount of evidence to support it. He decided he would have to take matters into his own hooves.
It's true. I confess.
No more secrets. It's time we finally heard Sweetie's side of the story, and if she won't cooperate willingly, I'll make her.
Yeah.
The defense would like to step down from defense.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Athena, you can't just step down now. If Sweetie Belle is willing to testify, then I'll remain as her defense.
Fine. I'll do it. I'll testify. And hope you don't regret it.
Yeah, so she's going to testify in this one. Testify. February 15th, 10:45 a.m. Puttyville District Court. Defendant's Lobby, number 5.
Athena, what the heck was that? Yeah. Threatening to step down as Sweetie Belle's lawyer? You must have scared her half to death.
Yeah, I probably did. But I had to. Sweetie Belle wasn't going to talk unless she was backed into a corner.
Yeah.
It's true. She was awfully determined to keep things to herself. Again.
Throughout this case.
Again. What's her angle here?
I'm wondering if that was connected to how she was behaving earlier today.
Yeah.
Earlier today? You mean before the trial?
Yeah, because she was,
And how nonchalant she was.
I think it was like the Miranda rights. Like she has the right to remain silent or
To
something.
testify. Even so, don't you think it was going way too far making that threat?
Truthfully, Trucy, I didn't like doing it either. But Sweetie Belle left us no choice.
Agreed. I didn't like making Sweetie Belle feel that way either. But she's definitely up to something. We can't save her if she isn't willing to speak.
Especially if her not saying anything only implicates her even further.
Yeah, I know. I guess it just threw me for a loop. Yeah, me too. Rarity didn't take it very well either. I'm surprised she isn't here right now.
I can't really say I blame her. Athena just put her own sister's life on the line.
Rarity and Trucy weren't the only ones thrown for a loop.
If Rarity was in the core, she would be absolutely scrapping hoops with Athena.
Could that mean...
Sounds like you finally noticed it, boss.
Noticed what?
Trucy, did you find it odd how Fair Devotion was acting? The way she handled Sugar Stamp and Private Eye?
Yeah.
She managed to explain away the contradictions in both their testimonies. And not only that, the two of them went along with it.
Yeah.
Daddy! You're not saying...
This is exactly why I didn't do as Luna suggested, and go after Fair Devotion. Fair's been planning some kind of story, I think, from the very beginning. And those two, Sugar Stamp and Private Eye, somehow they're also a part of it. Probably as collaborators.
What do you mean a story? Fair and Sugar are caught up in a love triangle over Royal Order, aren't they?
That's certainly what the evidence suggests. But
But
I'm not so sure about that
yeah,
anymore,
Fair
Trucy.
Devotion
Think about it.
knows about
If the
it.
writing in the journal is fake, then who's to say the love letter isn't as well?
But why would you think that?
Because of what I've been hearing. Fair and Sugar certainly act like two scorned lovers, but the emotions in their voices don't match what they're saying.
No, they
In
were.
fact, their outbursts are completely emotionless, almost as if...
They don't have any real investment in what they're saying?
Exactly. That led me to believe Sugar Stamp's confession was most definitely a lie. One that someone supported by planting that letter opener.
And your main suspect was
Private
Private
Eye.
Eye, seeing as how he was the lead investigator.
Yeah, I didn't want to believe it, but it made the most sense. He was also friends with Royal Order, so he may have a personal stake in this as well. Anyway, if Sugar's lying about killing him, she must also be lying about why she killed him. Coupled with a lack of emotions regarding the subject, the affair is also likely to be a lie.
One that Fair Devotion, Sugar Stamp, and Private Eye must all be aware of. That's why you insisted we go down this route, isn't it?
It started as a hunch, but yeah, it looks like everyone's lying to us. Sweetie Belle included for some reason.
Aww.
But they must be lying for more than just trying to land Sugar Stamp in prison. So what's their end game?
What indeed?
Hello.
Sonata!
Sonata!
Oh? You all seem lost in thought. Is now a bad time?
I love Sonata.
Actually, we're in recess right now, so you couldn't have picked a better time. How was your investigation?
It was quite productive. I managed to acquire the information you asked for, Athena.
Really? That's great! Let's see what you've got.
First, I managed to test the blood that Apollo, Trucy, and I found on the trees the other day. As was expected, it belonged to Royal Order.
Yeah. Okay. So we know that.
More of his blood, huh? Should have seen that coming.
But what was it doing on the trees, though? And how did it get there? I don't recall seeing any blood on the forest floor.
I'm still not sure of that myself. The answer may come about during the rest of the trial.
Agreed. What else have you got?
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to determine the exact source of the anonymous tip, but I was able to verify which magazine was used to make it.
And that would be...
The one you found in Diamond Tiara's bedroom, Mr. Ray. It had letters cut out of it that matched the ones in the anonymous tip. I even managed to take a better quality photo of the magazine before removing it for examination.
Well, not all of us can afford a higher quality camera.
Perhaps you should learn to invest a bit more wisely then?
God damn.
Don't bother.
Ponyville's
Sonata.
got more advanced tech than those humans have. God damn. Alright. Alright. I see you, Ponyville. February
What's all this
14th.
stuff underneath the magazine?
I noticed that as well. After
February
I took that
14th,
picture, I did
Valentine's
some
Day note.
digging, and determined that's a couple of Hearts and Hooves Day envelopes.
Yes.
They were most likely thrown away after Ms. Tiara opened them.
Digging in a literal sense? I see you've also taken up the habit of sifting through trash, huh, Sonata?
Damn.
Really, Mr. Wright?
Mm.
You and I both know this was part of an intense investigation. It's not sifting through trash, it's sifting through evidence.
But the fact that the magazine cutouts match the tip, does that mean Diamond Tiara is the one who actually sent it?
I'm not so sure of that, Princess Twilight. Still, it would be worth verifying for ourselves, which is why after I was done investigating, I asked her and Silver Spoon to come and wait in the lobby.
That sounds like a good idea. Thank you, Sonata. What else were you able to uncover?
You remember the remaining suit of armor?
Yes.
I managed to find it.
Oh.
You mean the one that the clone Scootaloo crashed into would have been wearing?
Precisely. I found it deep in the Everfree Forest. It had been chewed apart by timber wolves and was missing its helmet.
Oh.
In addition, I noticed that the left side of the body plate had a particularly ugly dent in it.
Any idea as to what made it?
Based on how it was dented and the shape of the impression left over, I'd say some kind of long wedged object.
A long wedged object?
Wedged object.
You managed to uncover quite a bit, Sonata. It must have taken you some time.
Actually, that's the thing, Princess Twilight.
Fair Devotion's
I managed to
baton?
uncover everything on the trial was happening.
Well, maybe you're just really good at getting the job done.
You think so? Well, perhaps. But that does make me wonder.
Wonder what?
I was able to uncover all of this rather easily, without having to jump through a bunch of hoops and hurdles. So how come the investigation team managed to miss the blood and the armor entirely?
Well,
It was because of Private Eye.
yes. Because Private
What?
Eye,
Private Eye?
he's fabricating it. He's covering up. Yeah.
I see. But that doesn't seem like him to do that. Not even if he believed, truly, that Sugar Stamp was the killer.
Have you worked with him before?
Yes, on a number of occasions. But that's neither here nor there at the moment. The point is, I trust him. I can't imagine he'd do something like that without a good reason.
But he's already admitted to forging evidence, so we know that he managed
It goes back to
manipulate
that
the
conversation
investigation
that
to
he
stay
had
away from those
with,
other areas for some reason. If it isn't for what we uncovered, then I don't know what
Lawkeeper Equity.
Pardon me for my intrusion,
Sakura!
but I must admit my own confusion.
What?
Oh, yes. That was another thing Athena asked me to do. Bring Sakura along.
Right. Thank you for coming, Sakura. I just have a few last-minute questions that I need you to answer.
If aid from me is what you desire, then by all means, you may inquire.
Bars.
Sonata, could you show her that photo? The one with the boulder outside of the mirror pool?
Here it is.
Sakura, this photo shows the boulder that was placed outside of the mirror pool. There are a couple of flowers all over it. Can you tell me what they are?
Of their identity, I have no doubt. These are day bloomers with petals out.
Day bloomers.
Day bloomers.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
The flowers that grow near are day bloomers.
Sonata, do you have that other photo I requested?
Yes. Here you are, Athena.
Athena? That's just a photo of inside Sakura's home. I'm pretty sure she'd recognize that.
It's not the inside of the hut I'm interested in, actually. It's the healing potion inside that was stolen. First, I want to reaffirm that the potion was stored in the floor shelf, right?
Yes, that is where it was always stored, just above the hut's floorboard.
And this potion, is it difficult to make?
Even with my skill, it requires some time. The components are not simply found for a dime. There's also a considerable time to brew. It can take upwards of a full month or two.
Oh.
Do you just make these kinds of potions for yourself?
Thanks to their rarity, the demand is quite high. This one the local hospital will always buy. Its potency proves to be worth the price, when normal treatments won't suffice.
Local hospital. That must mean Ponyville General Hospital.
Yeah. All of Vince's course shows itself before when a healing potion was stolen.
That answers everything I had for now. Thanks again, Sakura. Could you actually stick around before the trial begins? I might want to ask a few more things.
Of course, I'll gladly spare my time, if it will help solve this awful crime.
I know you didn't ask this of me, Athena, but I'd also gone to check up on the Carousel Boutique break-in.
Oh, good thinking. Did you find anything new?
Unfortunately, no. The investigators are still looking for anything that might have been taken, but so far they've found nothing. Rarity, as you can understand, is still quite upset.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Although, if nothing's missing, could that mean that if anything was stolen at all, it was something no one would even notice in the first place? Miss Sykes? Turning page. I'm surprised to see you. What brings you to the courthouse? I just wanted to say good luck. We're all counting on you to free Miss Sweetie Belle. I know, Turning. So long as Sweetie Belle cooperates with us, we'll be able to succeed. I also wanted to see Scootaloo again, to check how she's feeling.
I'm doing okay, Turning. I have faith that Athena and Twilight are gonna turn this trial around.
Yeah, me too. Huh, there's something up with him. It's not just trial jitters. What could it be? Maybe... Hey, Turning. Yes, Miss Sykes? It's about your mother. Is she okay? Okay? I mean, she's been acting a bit strangely all throughout this trial. You wouldn't happen to know why that is, would you? Can I ask you to do something, Miss Sykes? Whatever happens in this trial, please help my mom, no matter the cost. What the... Help his mom? No matter what the cost?
What?
What could that mean? And why does it fill me with the most ominous sense of dread?
What?
Have your attention, please. The trial is about to reconvene. Defense, please return to the courtroom shortly.
Right. We'd better head inside, Athena.
Just a second. I want to ask Sakura and Scootaloo one more thing.
Huh? What is it, Athena?
It just occurred to me. All throughout this trial, we've been hearing about these clanging noises. But Scootaloo, during your testimony yesterday, you never mentioned anything about them. Did you hear anything of that sort that night?
Yeah, actually. I heard one when I was just passing by Sakura's house. And then one more just before I crashed into Royal Order.
So you heard two? And Sakura, you still maintain you heard just the one?
One clang.
I am quite sure of that amount. No other claims I can recount.
Defense, you need to head inside.
Just one more question. Scootaloo, that first clang you heard, did it differ in any way from the second one?
I guess a little? Like, the first one was much louder than the other one. They were both metallic sounding.
Louder, huh? Then that would mean...
Speaking of crashing into Royal Order, I'm not sure what it means, but you said he was wearing armor?
So could the other one be wearing armor as well?
That's what Sweetie used to scare away the Timberwolves.
But he wasn't wearing any armor when I crashed into him.
He wasn't?
Huh.
But then how?
Who was wearing the armor then?
Athena, we need to get going. Right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you after the trial.
Huh. Interesting. February 15th, 1 p.m. Ponyville District Court, courtroom number 5. All rise.
Court is back in session for the trial of Miss Sweetie Belle. I trust that the defendant is ready to testify.
Yes, Your Honor.
Before we begin, I would like to ask if either the prosecution or defense have any final objections to the matter. Prosecutor Luna, what say you?
Having Sweetie Belle testify must have thrown her entire plan for a loop.
Prosecutor Luna, you appear somewhat hesitant.
Those eyes of yours have not dwindled with age, Your Honor. To be perfectly frank, I am a bit hesitant. I cannot foresee where exactly this testimony will lead us.
Prosecutor Luna,
Yes, Miss Sykes?
do you remember what you told me last night?
But still, I believe you must, if nothing else, trust that in the end, the truth will be found. Never mind what the lawkeeper has said.
I know, but it's hard
Yeah.
sometimes. Like stumbling around in the dark hoping you'll find a light switch. Except you don't know if the room you're in even has one.
Trust is a leap of faith, Athena. That's all it ever is.
Trust is a leap of faith. Yeah, I recall that
I
conversation.
do, yes.
Yeah.
You trusted me back then. Asked me to find the truth in any way I can. Please, trust me now.
That's all it takes, Miles. A leap of faith.
Miss Sykes.
Or in this case, it's a leap of faith,
I'd
Athena.
ask you to trust me as well, Sweetie Belle, but I somehow doubt you will.
Your Honor, the prosecution is ready to hear the witness's testimony.
As is the defense.
Very well. Witness, you will testify to the court as to your movements on the night of the murder.
Here we go. This is it. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. A count of movements.
There isn't really a lot to say. That night, I was at the statue of Nightmare Moon. Not long after I'd arrived, I saw Timberwolves approaching the area. One of them attacked me. I managed to scare it off, and afterwards, I hid behind the statue. I was there for a long time. I don't really remember for how long exactly. It's all a bit of a blur. After a while, I left the statue saying that no one was around. I made myself a tourniquet and went to Zikora's hut to look for a healing potion.
Wait a moment. You mean to say you were almost killed that night by wild Timberwolves?
Yeah.
Timberwolves. Timberwolves.
My word. I knew those animals were brutes, but I never imagined they'd go so far as to attack a random filly. To think there could be a place so full of danger in this world, let alone one so close to somewhere as idyllic as Ponyville.
What's up with Prosecutor Luna?
It is indeed fortunate that the bell did not toll for thee, young one.
In any case, I believe we may now begin the cross-examination. Defense, are you ready?
You bet, Your Honor.
Yeah, Princess Luna is siding with Sweetie Belle from that. It did not toll for the... Of course it didn't. She didn't kill him.
There isn't really a lot to say. That night, I was at the statue
of Nightmare Moon.
Why were you in the Everfree Forest in the first place? And why the statue?
Do I really have to say it?
Because of turning,
Yes, you do.
wasn't it?
Fine. It was because I found Scootaloo's note in Carousel Boutique.
Scootaloo's note?
This one, Your Honor. It's Scootaloo's confession to Rarity for taking a roll of golden silk in order to fulfill the blackmailer's demand.
Yeah.
After I'd found that note, I considered following her and turning into the forest to stop them.
And why was that?
To get back the roll of golden silk, obviously. The thing cost Rarity a small fortune. And Scootaloo stole it right from under my nose.
That pose.
I didn't want Rarity to find out or she'd totally freak. And I didn't want Scootaloo to do anything dumb. Or anything more dumb than stealing from my sister.
I love that pose.
But
That's
how'd
from
you
the
end up at the
the Heart
Once I
Enough Stay
finally decided to go
episode, I
after them,
believe.
I headed to the forest entrance. As soon as I got there, I heard a loud noise coming from within. I thought it might be her, so I cast an illumination spell and started heading towards it.
Could you describe this noise for us?
It was loud and metallic, like a clang.
Cling?
Clang.
That noise seems to be at the center of everything.
So 2 clangs.
Sakura and Diamond Tiara heard one, and Silver Spoon heard 2.
And Scootaloo heard 2 as well. This must have been one of them. And if one was quieter than the other... Sweetie Belle, around what time did you hear that clang?
Probably around 10:15.
10:15.
Yeah, that sounds right.
10:15. The same time that Sakura, Diamond Tiara, and Silver Spoon each heard one. And when Sugar Stamp kicked Royal Order. If that confession wasn't a load of baloney, that is.
Let's get back to the testimony. Witness, what happened next? Not long after I'd arrived, I saw Timberwolves approaching the area.
So the Timberwolves were in the area when you arrived at the statue and started to approach?
Yes, that's correct.
Did you see anything else near the statue besides those Timberwolves?
Yeah, actually. There was a big blood stain out in front of the statue. And also a set of armor. That armor, no doubt, must have belonged to the Royal Order whom Scootaloo crashed into.
Yep.
And who crawled to the statue afterwards.
Except she claims that that Royal Order wasn't wearing armor. So how did it get there?
And the blood stain?
Royal Orders, of course. The blood test proved that. Sweetie Belle, was there a body present when you saw all of this?
Private Eye?
No, there wasn't
Maybe?
a body.
That means the Timberwolves must have already eaten the body and were in the process of leaving when Sweetie Belle came along.
Objection! But that contradicts what Sugar Stamp said. She saw Sweetie Belle trip Royal Order. The body had not yet been eaten by Timberwolves.
Objection! However, as Fair Devotion suggested, it's possible Sugar Stamp was misremembering things that night.
Yeah.
She might have been so traumatized that she only thought she saw Sweetie Belle trip him.
Yeah, she
She
was not recalling as much on the events that night
Tell
from
me you
Sugar
have a plan
Stamp's
for resolving that issue.
I do,
testimony.
of course. Just, don't expect it right now, okay?
I have a lot of patience, Miss Sykes. You needn't worry.
The only way to resolve it is to disprove both Sugar's and Fair's entire testimonies, which have been definitive since they back each other up. But, in order to do that, I'll first have to break Sweetie Belle's testimony.
Witness, please continue.
One of them attacked me. I managed to scare it off, and afterwards, I hid behind the statue.
Were you injured by this attack?
A little bit. It scratched my right foreleg, enough for me to bleed a little. Which accounts for the fact that the witness's blood was found at the scene.
How did you scare off the Timberwolf exactly?
It was simple, really. I used the armor to do it.
What do you mean?
The armor.
Timberwolves don't like loud sounds. My friend Applebloom once told me about how her granny scared off a whole pack using nothing but a frying pan. I remembered that story and decided to do something similar with the armor. I took 2 pieces and hit them together as hard as I could.
Wait!
Rather ingenious spur-of-the-moment idea.
And around what time did you hit the armor pieces together?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Well, let's backtrack and see if we can figure it out. You heard the first clanging noise at 10:15, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
And afterwards, you started heading towards where you thought it was coming from, the statue. How long did it take you to arrive?
Probably about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Then we can reasonably assume that you arrived close to 10:25, if not on it. You then hit the armor pieces together, maybe around the same time, eliciting a loud clanging sound.
Yes.
Does that sound about right, Sweetie Belle?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
So one loud clang at 10:15, and the quieter one Sweetie caused at the statue around 10:25.
Yeah.
And afterwards, you chose to hide behind the statue. Why did you do that?
Timberwolves.
It's because I thought I heard someone coming. And I was afraid it was more animals. More timberwolves, maybe? Or a manticore? Or something worse. So, I hid, using my magic to hide the blood trail that I left while walking behind the statue.
Yeah.
And what happened next?
I was there for a long time. I don't really remember for how long exactly. It's all a bit of a blur.
You don't remember how long you were back there?
No, not at all.
She seems awfully calm about this whole thing. You're sure? You never saw whoever was coming your way?
Nope. To be honest, I don't even fully remember what happened after. I think I must have passed out for a little while.
Loss of blood.
Considering that you had just been attacked and were suffering some blood loss, that would indeed appear to be plausible. We can't expect you to remember how long you were out if you were truly unconscious, after all.
So you were out for a time, and then you came to. When you did you happen to see if the armor and bloodstain were still in front of the statue?
Nah.
No, they were gone.
They were gone? As in, they were just missing?
Which brings us back to Private
I
Eye.
just wanted to get out of there.
I understand, defendant. Let's return to when you came to, then. What did you do immediately afterwards?
After a while, I left the statue saying that no one was around. I made myself a tourniquet and went to Zikora's hut to look for a healing potion.
Objection.
Sweetie Belle, you're saying you made yourself a tourniquet, then made your way to Zikora's hut. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what happened.
I don't think so.
What?
You made your tourniquet out of forest debris, and that, I'm afraid, would have been impossible for you.
Why is that?
Because, Your Honor, there's no blood leading from the back of the statue to the tree line.
What the? You're right. For Sweetie Belle to have gotten any materials to make a tourniquet, she'd have to grab stuff from the tree line.
Exactly.
But that would mean she'd be dripping blood all over the place.
And on the trees.
So, Sweetie Belle, how do you explain that?
That's easy. I used my magic to keep the blood from falling everywhere.
You used your magic? Why?
But what do you mean, why? I was bleeding!
Exactly. You were injured and bleeding. You just passed out and only had just awoken moments beforehand. Not the best condition to be using magic in. You'd probably be too rattled to be able to concentrate on making sure every drop of your blood didn't end up on the forest floor.
But also with that,
why would you bother trying?
if she added magic, it would also cover up the blood on the trees as well.
I just used my magic to grab stuff from the tree line to make a tourniquet.
But that doesn't add up either, Sweetie Belle. You and I both know that your magic hasn't developed that much yet.
Yes, it has. I've been practicing outside of our lessons. You just haven't seen me.
Well, I can't deny that, I suppose.
See, no matter how you look at it, I made that tourniquet.
Oh? If that's the case, then you should be able to recreate it for us right now.
Recreate it?
Defense, Surely you're not asking the defendant to go back into the Everfree Forest just to grab a bunch of material? And surely you don't expect us to go there with her?
No.
Of course not, Your Honor. Besides, I already have some forest debris here. With the court's permission, I'd like to have Sweetie's magic nullifier removed, so she can recreate for us the tourniquet she claims to have made on that night.
Agreed. Bailiff, remove the nullifier.
She's free!
Go on, Sweetie Belle. Give it a try.
Then that goes there. Then that goes like that.
She's struggling.
I can't.
Forgive me, witness. I believe I misheard you. Did you say you can't make a tourniquet?
She did, Your Honor.
Then how did she make one on the night she was attacked?
She didn't. Some pony else did.
But who?
It might have been that some pony whom Sweetie Belle heard just before she passed out behind the statue. Or maybe...
Wait a minute!
Miss Sweetie Belle?
I remember now. I didn't make a tourniquet.
Wait a minute!
Stuff I collected and pressed against my wound to stop it from bleeding.
You pressed unsanitized forest debris against an open wound and trusted that it would keep it sealed long enough for you to reach Zikora's hut?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that her hut was a little far, but I also knew that she had some healing potions I could use.
If you knew that, does that also mean you knew where exactly she stored them?
Well, yeah, duh.
Then could you please show the court from which cupboard you took the healing potion?
Here? This one?
I'm sorry, Sweetie Belle. That is incorrect.
Yeah.
It's incorrect? But how?
Because that night, Sweetie Belle was neither the one to make the tourniquet, nor the one to get the healing potion from Zikora. Some pony else did both.
Wow.
But who? There was no one else at the statue.
I suspect Miss Sykes has been building up to this moment for quite some time. Well, why don't you regale us? Who aided Miss Sweetie Belle in both of these endeavors?
The court wants an answer, so I'd better make this count. Let me think. The judge says no one else was at the statue besides Sweetie Belle. That much might be true. But there were other ponies in the forest that night.
Yes.
Given what we already know about this case, it stands to reason that her savior could be one of them. But it can't just be any of them. It'd have to be some pony who knows how to make a tourniquet and identify which potions were healing ones. And it can't be Zikora, since she had no idea that the potion had been used until after yesterday's trial.
No.
Which leaves us with a pony who has a fair bit of medical knowledge behind them, and who was in the forest that night. That can only mean...
Defense, have you any idea as to who this mysterious helper was?
I do, Your Honor. In fact, they're in the lobby right now ready to testify.
And who are they?
Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon. Yes! Silver Spoon! Well, I don't know why I said Diamond Tiara, but yes, Silver Spoon! Of course! Silver Spoon was there at the scene.
But she's mentioned before that she has some light medical knowledge. It's not inconceivable that she might know how to make a rudimentary tourniquet.
No, wait! You can't call her to the stand!
Au contraire, Miss Sweetie Belle. The defense has that right. And besides, I am curious as to what Miss Silverspoon would have to say.
I would also like to hear from her. Bailiff, please bring in Miss Silverspoon to testify before the court. Now then, Miss Silverspoon, Wait a moment. Is that Miss Diamond Tiara?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Only Miss Silverspoon was summoned.
If you think I was gonna let Sylvie face the courtroom alone, you're out of your old geezer mind.
Jesus.
Miss Diamond Tiara was quite insistent she accompany her friend, Your Honor.
Fair enough.
Her loyalty is fairly sound.
Yes, I can see that. And her brattiness just as much.
Yeah.
Your Honor.
Fair point.
Why was I asked to come back here? I already testified yesterday.
You've got more from
Actions you took on the night of
Sweetie
Royal
Belle's
Order's death,
testimony,
Silverspoon.
Silverspoon.
I already told you everything that happened.
Not exactly everything.
Transcripts. To save ponies like us from repeating ourselves.
Yeah, not saying anything.
Silverspoon looks like she'd rather be anywhere else but here. That must mean I'm on the right track. Diamond Tiara, it's the duty of a defense attorney to explore every possible avenue in a trial. Even if it means treading on old ground, we can't let that stop us. Not if doing so may allow us to see things a bit clearer.
A bold sentiment. I concur.
Princess Luna?
Both of you will testify as to the actions you took that night. Then we shall see if we can uncover anything new.
In other words, she's trusting that something does come out of this, and that I'm not just firing into the dark.
Fine. We'll tell you everything again. Right, DT? Uh-huh. Oh, right.
The confidence. The turn of confidence from Silverspoon. Interesting. The actions we took that night.
The two of us waited at the castle ruins for the CMC to show up, but it was only Scoodle and her cult friend. He attacked me!
Afterwards, he threw DT's crown into the gorge and ran off.
Yeah.
We tried to follow, but DT stepped on my glasses,
Yeah.
accidentally breaking them.
That crown is one of my most prized possessions. I couldn't just leave it behind. So Sylvie and I went down the gorge to go look for it.
When we came back, though, that was when we saw the body. We were also afraid the police might find the blackmail letter, so we tried looking for it too.
But then that zebra came, so we hid. She saw the body and ran. After a bit, we followed after her too.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor?
That appears to indeed be a repeat of what we heard from these fillies in yesterday's trial. I fail to see what use it may be.
No.
There might be a hole in it, Your Honor.
There is a contradiction.
Especially since we now have heard other testimonies besides their own.
A fair point. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination.
There is a contradiction. I think from when they were heading back with Sakura, I think there might have been a contradiction in that.
The two of us waited at the castle ruins for the CMC to show up, but it was only Scoodle and her cult friend. He attacked me.
Well, we know that.
I mean, it is true that Turning Page attacked you, but, well, it wasn't like you were innocent bystanders or anything.
Right. You two were blackmailing the Cutie Mark Crusaders in order to get that roll of golden fabric.
Facts.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean I should have been hit by a stupid wooden sword. Do you have any idea how painful it is? Maybe my nose didn't break.
I did see Mr. Wright take a hit, but something tells me he might be a bit more used to physical abuse than most.
And what happened
Damn.
afterward?
Afterwards, he threw DT's crown into the gorge and ran off. We tried to follow, but DT stepped on my glasses, accidentally breaking them.
That crown is one of my most prized possessions. I couldn't just leave it behind. So Sylvie and I went down the gorge to go look for it.
You two went down into the gorge?
Well, yeah. That's my crown. I couldn't just leave it behind.
I can understand you being able to go down there, Diamond Tiara. But what about you, Silver Spoon? How do you go down there?
Well, since my glasses were broken, I couldn't see. So I needed Diamond Tiara to guide me down the steps.
Fair.
Could you add that to your testimony then?
Sure.
Oh.
My glasses were broken, so I couldn't see. Diamond Tiara had to guide me down the steps.
Oh. Oh.
You're saying that your glasses were broken? That doesn't seem quite right to me, Silver Spoon.
Oh.
Huh? But they were broken. It's just like I told you yesterday during the trial.
As I recall, defense, you were the ones to first postulate, based on the discovery of the glass shards, that glasses were indeed broken. We even verified that the shards belonged to Miss Silverspoon's glasses during the recess.
That is true, Prosecutor Luna. But there was a vital detail that I think you failed to mention as part of that report.
What would that be?
Those glass shards came from only one of Silver Spoon's lenses. The other was completely intact.
Oh!
With only half of her glasses broken, she could still see just fine through the other
Just
lens.
from the other lens.
If you deny that, Silver Spoon, then I'm sure you wouldn't mind if we verified with your doctor. He could easily confirm that he replaced a pair of glasses with one of the lenses broken.
No, that won't be necessary. It's true. Only one of my lenses was broken, so I could still see. Well, sort of. Enough that DT didn't have to guide me blindly down the steps, at least.
But that means that you stuck with your friend the whole time?
Yeah, of course. I was walking with only half a pair of glasses on, after all, and it was still very dark and scary. But, yeah, Athena's right. I did have one lens letting me somewhat see.
So
I
she...
don't see how this is important at all.
So she saw Sweetie Belle with one lens on and helped her
It's
out.
because not only was Silver Spoon able to see while going down into the gorge, but she was also able to see coming out of it, and presumably for the rest of the night. Her being able to see at all gives a bit more credibility to my claim that she helped Sweetie Belle.
Thank you.
You're right. Wow, Athena, look at you. You're really managing to put the pieces together.
Thank you, Twilight. But we've still got a bit more ways to go before we can end this.
In any case, I believe it is best that we return to the witness's testimony, now that the matter about the glasses has been cleared up.
When we came back, though, that was when we saw the body. We were also afraid the police might find the blackmail letter, so we tried looking for it too.
You two had gone down into the gorge looking for Diamond Tiara's crown. After you found it, you left. But during that time, did anything of note occur?
Of note? I mean, we did hear that clang sound while we were looking for it.
But there wasn't just one clang heard that night, Diamond Tiara.
Two.
There were, in fact, two.
Yes, we established that in the previous trial. There was the one that Sakura, Diamond Tiara, and Silver Spoon heard, and then there was the one that Silver Spoon alone heard. It was suggested that it might have come from inside the castle, perhaps from something falling.
Suggested, yes, but not supported. However, that's not my point. Thanks to a little help from Scootaloo, as well as what we just heard from Sweetie Belle, I think I have a pretty good explanation for why Silver Spoon heard two, but Diamond Tiara did not.
Then please explain, Miss Sykes.
Before we resumed today's trial,
She was
I
knocked
asked
out.
Scootaloo about these claims. Sakura confirmed that she heard one before she left her hut. Scootaloo said that she also heard one when she was passing by Sakura's house. But that night, she heard a second clang.
Yeah.
Just before she crashed into Royal Order at the crossroads. Now, do you remember what we just heard from Sweetie Belle? What she did in order to scare off those Timberwolves?
She banged the armor pieces together, making a clanging sound.
And that was, of course, after Sakura left her hut at 10:15. Sweetie hid the pieces together at around 10:25. That's why Sakura didn't hear a second clang. She wasn't nearby.
So this second clang was heard by Miss Scootaloo and Miss Silver Spoon, then?
That's right, Your Honor. But if you think about it, that should be possible.
Why is that?
Scootaloo said she heard that clang when she was at the crossroads, and that clang came from Sweetie Belle, who was at the Nightmare Moon statue. Looking at these two locations, we see they're a short distance of each other. It's not unreasonable that Scootaloo would have been able to hear it. Yet, Silver Spoon said she heard the second clang as well, all the way from the other side of the forest while she was in the gorge.
Yeah. So how?
Now,
How?
You're right. That does seem implausible.
Yeah, Scootaloo was closest, but Silver Spoon was in the gorge with Diamond Tiara. So how could she
Silver
have...
Spoon was not at the bottom of the gorge like she and Diamond Tiara claimed.
Unless she was in the mirror pool!
Instead, she was close enough to the statue to have heard that second clang.
Wait.
Your Honor, it is the defense's belief that instead of following Diamond Tiara down the gorge, Silver Spoon chased after Scootaloo and Turning Page.
Oh!
She made her way through the forest, all the way to the crossroads, hearing both clangs along the way.
Right.
Once she got to the crossroads, she headed for the statue where she found Sweetie Belle injured and unconscious.
Oh, so she left Diamond Tiara there in the gorge to get her crown. She still only had one lens on, so she chased after them both.
She would have known how to make a tourniquet out of an assortment of items. Therefore, she would have known how to treat Sweetie Belle's injury. And that explains away the issue from earlier. How Sweetie Belle, despite not knowing how to treat her wound, managed to have it treated in the first place. Objection!
Oh, that was really sweet, though, Silver Spoon.
This is truly a fascinating theory, Defense. But you have yet to answer one final question regarding it. Why would she have found Sweetie Belle at all?
Prosecutor Luna, what do you mean?
I can believe that Silver Spoon might have run all the way back to the crossroads. But why would she then head to the statue after getting there? Defense, give us some proof to show why she would have gone to the statue.
Gladly, Prosecutor Luna. Take that.
This is... Ah! The photo that Private Eye took revealing Royal Order's blood at the crossroads?
The very same, Your Honor.
The blood
And
led
if
to the
you'll
statue.
recall, that blood led to the Nightmare Moon statue. If that blood was visible on the night in question, then Silver Spoon should have easily seen it.
Yeah.
And that would have meant she could have followed it to the statue where she'd find
The blood was fresh at the time.
She did, she treated the young filly's wound using what she had available.
Oh, Silver Spoon.
Miss Silver Spoon?
Sylvie? What are you? Your Honor, I object.
Yes, witness? What exactly are you objecting to?
I'm objecting to what Athena said about going to the statue and helping Sweetie Belle.
You are?
What?
Okay, I admit it. I didn't exactly go down the gorge with DT when she needed me to.
Okay, okay.
Instead, I did chase after Scootaloo and Turning Page.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I did. I never went near that statue, and I never helped Sweetie Belle. Not one bit. But then how else could Sweetie Belle have gotten the help she needed for her injury? She couldn't do it on her own.
Because she doesn't
Silver
know.
Spoon, you were the only one in the forest that night.
Yes.
And Zecora with the expertise needed to help her.
Yes.
I don't know, Princess Twilight, but I still never did what Athena's saying I did. And it's not like she has any proof to back that up. Athena, you're thinking of something, aren't you?
But then...
I am. I have a pretty good idea of how to show definitively that Silver Spoon did help Sweetie Belle that night. But...
I mean, Scootaloo was
yet.
there as well, but
But
it
shouldn't
wouldn't really
We should.
add up.
But there's another angle in all of this that I feel needs to be established before I do that. We know that Silver Spoon's not telling the truth, and it'd be very easy to show that. But we also know Sweetie Belle's been lying to us. I think there's a way to get the both of them to confess the truth. Kill two birds with one stone. And I think if we do that, we'll be one step closer to figuring out everything.
You really think so?
Yeah. I'm more certain of it than I've ever been, Twilight.
All right, Athena. I'll follow your lead.
Defense? This witness has objected to your claim. Do you have any proof to support it?
I do, Your Honor. But I don't want to present it at this moment.
You don't want to present it? Miss Sykes, I'm afraid I don't understand.
Your Honor, there's one more detail I would like to get an explanation for from Miss Silverspoon.
One more detail?
Miss Sykes,
Yes, Prosecutor Luna?
we have a saying here in Equestria. Be wary of those who lead you down the garden path, promising a way out through the twists and turns. So far, you have been objecting at various points during this trial, hinting, it would seem, at some larger explanation.
Sounds like the Everfree
But
Forest
you
going
have
through
yet to
there.
provide
Watch
Where
out
there
for
were clear
the
avenues
poison
for you to
jokes as you're
exploit.
walking through that
You
path.
chose instead to take multiple twisting paths, stringing the court along. So I must ask, where are you taking us? Is it another garden path? And when will these many winding roads cease, allowing us clear passage?
I understand if you feel as though I've been leading us nowhere, Prosecutor Luna. But this will be the last time I take us down those winding roads. I promise.
Hence the title, Winding Route.
What is this one other detail that you had in mind, Miss Sykes?
It's something that's been bothering me from the very beginning of this entire case, Your Honor. Almost as much as Royal Order's death. The item that got Turning Page arrested.
You mean...
That's right.
The anonymous tip.
This anonymous tip. You must mean the one Miss Sugarstamp wrote and delivered. The one implicating the deceased son.
I am, Prosecutor Luna. However, I think you'll find it's far too soon for us to definitively say that Miss Sugarstamp is responsible for writing and sending it.
Why is that, Defense?
Because of this.
Another magazine?
That's right. But this isn't just an ordinary magazine. If you flip through it, you'll see that a few pages have been cut out. Before this trial began, I had a friend test those cutouts against the ones found on the anonymous tip. And she found that they were a perfect match.
A perfect match?
Where was this magazine discovered?
In the home of Diamond Tiara.
Yes.
What?
Did you say Diamond Tiara?
Yeah.
Order in the court! You mean to say that Diamond Tiara is the true sender of the tip? Witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
What? I don't know. I've never even seen that magazine in my life.
Yet it was found in your house, according to the defense. Do you deny that?
No. But I don't know anything about it.
I know this looks bad for Diamond Tiara, but, Your Honor, it's actually impossible for her to be the one who sent the tip in the first place.
Impossible? But the magazine! If it was found in her house, and if it matches the tip, then she must have sent it.
Not quite. Take a look at this photo. It's a picture of where this magazine was found. In the trash can of Diamond Tiara's bedroom.
Defense, do you mean to say that you were digging around in some Philly's trash?
Not me. I'm not. But that's besides the point. Your Honor, when you look at this photo, what do you see underneath the magazine?
A Hearts and Hooves Day. No.
Oh!
Yeah.
Why, it's a Hearts and Hooves Day envelope. How lovely.
How long did this guy stay here last time he was in Equestria? Exactly, Your Honor. That's why it's impossible for Diamond Tiara to have sent this.
I'm afraid you've lost me, Defense.
The placement of the envelope tells us it was thrown away before this magazine. That envelope could only have been thrown away on Hearts and Hooves Day, February 14th. We know that the tip was delivered on the 13th, because that was the day that Turning Page was arrested. So it doesn't make sense for the magazine to be on top of the envelope. That means it's impossible that Diamond Tiara could have sent the tip. She'd have sent it too late.
Yeah.
Exactly! Finally, you said something smart.
Would it kill you to be a little grateful?
I see. But then, how do we explain the fact that the magazine was found in her bedroom?
Well, it couldn't have been stashed there by the pony who said she sent it, Sugar Stamp. She'd already been arrested by the time she arrived in Ponyville.
Yeah.
Logically, that means the sender must be some pony who was in Diamond Tiara's bedroom. Someone who'd be able to discard the magazine while there. Miss Diamond Tiara?
Silver Spoon?
What is it, Princess Luna?
Between today and yesterday, was there any pony present in your house who could have disposed of this magazine?
I'm going to look at this little bit. I know I'm going through over the time, but...
It is in your best interest to be honest with the court.
Well, when Sylvie came to my house yesterday, she was carrying a magazine.
DT, wait!
Then that means that Miss Silverspoon could be the true sender.
Your Honor.
It was placed outside the entrance to the Ponyville police station without anybody noticing. It was around 4:45 when a pair of officers brought it in. I doubt it could have been there for long. We were unsure if it could even be trusted until we started our inquiries.
Right. And Princess Luna said you had an appointment the day after. What time did you go?
It was around 4:30. It went on for about half an hour.
The tip was delivered around 4:45 p.m. on the 13th, when Silver Spoon was busy getting her glasses replaced. So you see, she couldn't have sent it.
But she still had the magazine in question. It was still used to write the tip.
If she wasn't the one to deliver it, then she might have been given it by the true author. Is that what you're thinking, Miss Sykes?
All right, it's gone to another ad, but yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. So yeah, Diamond Tiara isn't the one who's sent that tip away towards the Bear Devotion. Yeah, so it could have been. Yeah, it wasn't going to be Diamond Tiara because Diamond Tiara doesn't know about it. But yes, Silver Spoon did have the magazine in hand. Silver Spoon did have it. So yeah, it could be evolved around her. Or she was working with somebody else for that tip. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to leave it on this part here. Coming up to over an hour now. But yeah, this is getting really good. So I'll be back for part 2 of episode 2, Case 8, A Winding Road. I'll be back then. See you then, every pony.